Connections. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and you are watching us right here on the Conscious Awakening Network. Now, tonight, our guest is Jana Stern. And Jana is going to speak with us about near-death experiences and exploring the depths of esoteric wisdom. Now, she is a renowned psychic, an astrologer, a spiritual activator who is deeply committed to transforming lives through spirituality. Over 15 years of professional expertise, and she has a lifetime of study. She also has her own innate psychic abilities, and she utilizes her knowledge in metaphysics, esoterica, astrology, energy healing to help empower her clients and to help them navigate their spiritual and personal journeys with clarity and purpose. Recognized as a no-namaste anti-guru, and I loved that when I read it the first time, Jana offers an alternative to conventional spiritual teachings that focus on sustaining the actionable healing for individuals preparing for transformation. So, Jana, thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I would love for you to start out by introducing yourself a little bit more and telling people about your journey and how you got to where you are. And then I have a whole list of questions that I want to ask you.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you guys this evening. This is so nice to be live with so many faces smiling. It's so lovely. Hi, everybody. This is so nice. So like Sheila said, my name is Jana. I am a psychic and an astrologer, and I am really just a bit of a sacred rebel in the world. I'm somebody who deeply believes that the world is changing, and it's changing for the better. Even if it might not seem like it at the moment, it might seem like things are a little chaotic. But you know, how I kind of got into all of this stuff began a long time ago in my life. It's like, as you said, it's been a lifetime of learning and growing and evolving. You know, I was very, very young when crystals would speak to me. As you can see, I'm in my grandmother's house right now. And this is one of many that were
Beautiful.
in my grandfather's collection. And actually, my great grandfather had a collection as well. And so, as a very young child, he had hundreds of them in our home set up. And I would sit and I would listen to them, and they would tell me stories and sing me songs. And, you know, I their son, my father, is mentally ill, and he's suffered for most of my life. And it's been sort of a dance with what does it mean to hear voices? And, you know, what does it mean that, that we have these different, that we have these different gifts, and how are they received by society? How do we interact with them? Where do we block them? Where do we block our own blessings? And so, yeah, it's been really like a lifetime of allowing that it's okay that I hear voices, not telling the story that I'm going to become that which he is, and just letting myself dive deep into the esoteric and learn and study all that there is to know about the world that we cannot see, because the world that we can is a lie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I can relate to that. You know, when I first became a walk-in, I had never read an esoteric I had never read anything. I
Mm,
didn't know about the clairs. I had no idea. So when the event happened to me and I started hearing voices, I
mm,
started seeing people walking around, my automatic assumption was the illnesses have gotten to me, the dysfunctional marriage has broken me. I'm having a psychotic break because in society, now today it's a whole lot different. But 20 some years ago, when you started talking about seeing people that weren't there, clairvoyance or clairaudience was not a thing.
correct.
Intuition was like a woman's hunch,
Mm,
but today, maybe you have, you know, found your tribe here because we all embrace these ideas and
Mm.
encourage them in each other. So,
Beautiful.
having gone through that myself, I can really empathize. That can be
Mhm.
a tough road to hoe.
It can, and there are different levels to it, and yeah, for sure. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago is when my father had his first real big psychosis.
Mm.
Um, it was not, nobody turned to him and was like, oh, you're just on the spectrum with mental health issues. They were like, lock you up, in you
Right.
go. And it was difficult for me as a child, and I really had a lot of years as my in my teens and 20s of like, am I going to turn out like him? Am I crazy? Because I know I hear voices, I know that I do. So what does that mean for me? What does it mean that I hear voices? What does it mean that I have this like knowing that I don't know, but I know that I know, but what do I know? And it can make you mad, it can make you
Yeah.
crazy,
Now,
you
when
know?
did you first realize that you had psychic abilities?
I think, I talk a lot about the forgetting, which to me is that period from about 14, 15 years old till usually around your Saturn return at 27, 28-ish, depending on where Saturn is in your birth chart. Where in that time frame of your life, certainly of mine, I forgot because I wanted to be normal. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like other kids, like other people. And I didn't want to go crazy like my father. I had this other additional thing on top of it. And so I parked myself, I parked my gifts, but they were always there. I was always, always, always super intuitive. As a child, my friends would have, dramas with their parents and then later with, boyfriends or girlfriends and whatever. And I always had this like brilliant knowledge, this like channel would open up and I could just say things and they would be like, can you write that down? Like, no, yes, I don't know, record it. Now
Right.
I leave them as voice messages and my clients are always like, thank you so much. But yeah, it was years of that. And then in my 20s, um, I had developed in my teens a very serious eating disorder. I was trying to take control of my life and of the thoughts and of all of the chaos of my father and other pieces of my world. We had a blended family. My mom had remarried and things like that.
Hmm.
And the chaos of it was a lot. And I was in control of my food and pretty much nothing else as a teenager. And so I took very serious control. And when I realized that I needed to be hospitalized, the idea of it was so overwhelming that I had a suicide attempt. And when I returned from that experience, so I was gone for 11 minutes. And when I came back from that experience, um, I was awakened. I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I have a purpose. This is not an accident. This is all on purpose. Everything is on purpose. Every experience, every moment. Yeah.
So, was this your near-death experience that's referenced in the
Yeah.
bio?
Yeah.
And that
It
was
is.
for 11 minutes. Wow. Now, there's a lot that can take place on the other side in 11 minutes because once you actually leave this body and you move into spirit, now you're looking at nonlinear time.
Yes. Yeah. And I've never actually been able to make time linear since then.
Mhm. Mhm.
I can quantum leap into new timelines pretty quick, make a decision, and then it's just life is different. It's over now and on to the next thing.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that was my near death experience. I was gone for 11 minutes, and from a perspective of above, I was able to watch and witness what was happening in the hospital. I saw my parents. I saw, my mom and my dad, my stepdad were there, and um, my mother was very distraught, and I was given a choice. You can continue on, or you can return. And the anxiety, the stress, the like deep pain that I could feel in my mother was not comfortable. And so back I went. Here I
Yeah.
am.
I really appreciate you bringing that up
Mm,
because when you're on the other side, you can see how your decisions really impact others. And for
mhm.
me, that's what that life review is all about. When you look back through your life, you
Mhm.
actually begin to feel how you, or I should say, how the rippling effect of all of your actions, your words, and your deeds affect other people. So the fact that you were able to experience it in that amount of time and that brought you back is very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I was born with a Pisces sun and a Gemini moon, which, like, if you know anything about astrology, that means I'm empathic. I am sensitive. But yeah, that ability to tap into other people never left me. And that really is where my gift is, as a psychic, is that I can, as soon as we're in agreement with one another via energy exchange of one form or another, um, I'm in. And when I'm in, I'm all the way in, and I'll take you wherever you got to go in the quantum to understand who you really are, because every decision, every experience that you have in this lifetime is teaching you something. You
Right.
don't know what it is, and you get stuck in the stories, but there is always a lesson. So that's really where the gift is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed that you combine ancient practices with modern practices. So, did you seek some type of a formal training for that? Or, was that knowing always there? Was it inherent?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. So, my father's mother is incredibly psychic. She knows all kinds of stuff intuitively. Before I was born, everybody said that'll be a boy with dark hair, with light hair, blonde hair, and I came out dark hair and a girl. And she had met me in a dream and said, "No, no, no, you're all wrong. This little girl is going to be dark haired," and that's how I came out. And so, like, there is this big, big, big intuitive knowing that I have, but when I came, back to this reality, I understood that there was more to learn. And
Yeah.
so, and I'm a person who is, I have a Gemini moon. I love to learn. I love knowledge. I love to just get more. So I studied with a school called the Modern Mystery School, and I studied with them for many years. I got certified as a life activation practitioner, and a healer through them. I have studied with Astrology Hub for many years, taken many, many, many classes from many of their different teachers along the road here. I study with a woman named Karen Curry Parker, who is a quantum alignment and system and quantum human design teacher and guide. She is a brilliant, brilliant teacher. If something went tingly when I said her name, go ahead and look her up, because she's a really wonderful guide for the new earth. So I've been certified with her. But a lot of what I know comes from this deep practice. I'm Jewish. I was raised Jewish with a deep understanding of halachic, teaching and the teaching of the Bible, and also have been blessed to learn about Kabbalah and other things like that. And so pulling everything together, learning metaphysics throughout the years, and studying astrology, all these different things together, they kind of like melt into this one Jana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I want
Yeah.
to circle back to something that you were talking about earlier, and that's crystals. You know, and of course, they all have their own energy. You were talking about how the crystals were speaking to you. I know
Mm.
that a lot of the crystalline children or the young star children, if they pick up the Lemurian crystals and they hold them, they actually can hear the singing inside of them. Is that similar to what you were talking about, or were you obtaining other information from them as well?
Yeah, it's both. So the Lemurian crystal is what I actually use in the life activation, which is
Ah,
wild. It's a hugely transformative healing that I need your physical body for, but it is beautiful. Yeah, the hearing that I have with crystals, it does sound like a singing. Um, I always say it's hard for me to interpret it because it's not in a language that is English. But I'm translating it clearly in English because it's the language I speak in this world. But there is certainly a frequency that comes through, and they tell me all kinds of things. Everything from like the necklace that is around somebody's neck that I'm like, please put that in the full moon, take it off, cleanse it. Oh my God, it's doing so much work. To like move this here, buy this crystal, give this away, use this one in a healing, whatever it might be. That is something that has always been innate for me. And yeah, like as a child, they would tell me all kinds of stories and sing me songs. And it was very, very, very peaceful to sit among them. And I actually believe that we all have that ability, not just the, starseed kids. I mean, they're amazing. And I'm lucky to have 8 nieces and nephews who all have gifts. But yeah, we all have the ability to listen. Like I said, we just go through this forgetting, and the forgetting has us turn that listening off.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you. I want to shift gears just a moment, but
Mhm.
still regarding your practice. I
Mm.
know that when most people talk about chakras, they talk about 7 chakras, they talk
Mm.
about 12 chakras, they talk about 22 chakras, but you talk about 144 chakras. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, 114.
Oh,
So we have
114.
That's okay. So, the idea that there are only 7 places in the body from which we are receiving energy makes no sense, because why bother having the rest of the whole physical thing? And the 114 system it's ancient, and it talks about 7 different dimensions of consciousness, 7 different dimensions of your reality, of your physical body, that exist outside of the physical, but also within the physical. And so the receiving of energy doesn't only happen in this timeline, in this body. It also happens in all timelines, in all auric fields, in all senses of yourself. And so when we talk about the 7 major chakras, those are the 7 dimensions that we are existing on. And that is where that rainbow comes from, right? And so we sort of whittle them down, much like how in astrology we take the whole chart and we're like, my sun sign, right? And we just harp on being a whatever our sun sign is. I'm a Pisces, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, you're not. You're everything. You're everything. Right. And so it's a similar kind of idea. We've really, what is digestible for the masses who have not been taught about chakras until
Mhm.
whatever recent learning they've learned. Some people learned it, years ago. Thankfully, it's been passed through for millennia. But in the West, what's digestible is those 7. And then, of course, the additional 12 that are above and below us, they get easily dropped in because, again, it's still digestible. It's still easy to digest, and to understand. But to understand 7 dimensions of your own consciousness is a bit complex. And so it is like there will come a time where 7 will, we will understand that the energy does flow to and from. We don't have to fight about it in the comments of videos about whether chakras are real or not. They're real. And when the collective gets on board and stops poo-pooing, we'll continue to advance to the advanced systems of the full chakras, of the full dimensions of self, because you exist on many different timelines, not only this one, and many different dimensions, not only this one. So as we
Correct.
ascend, we'll get there, I hope.
Right. Now, are these 114 chakras, are these related to the acupressure or acupuncture
Mhm,
points?
mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So 112 of them are in the body and 2 of them are outside of the body, but they are they're at different places around your body that are connected to meridians, that are connected to other ancient teachings of
Mhm.
Eastern medicine, that everything is everything. And actually, the more that I study different esoteric practices from around the world, the more that you see, okay, so do you mean to say that it's a coincidence that the chakras and the Kabbalah system and the I Ching and all of these things all fit together, that they're all the same practices? Well, it's not, right? It's not, because all of that wisdom was given to us at the same time collectively around the globe. And then we can get into real conspiracies around pyramids and how all of those things came to be exactly the same. But I'll park all of that for another conversation. But yeah.
Okay. And so When people learn about these chakras, how do they work with them? Do they work with them very similarly
Mhm.
that they do the seven major chakras? Can you describe what that looks like?
Yeah, it's really just about it's like I would say a hyper mindfulness. When you're tapping into your chakras, good ways to learn to work with the seven major ones are to use sound frequency. So all your entire body and everything in the world
Mhm.
is frequency. It's just energy. And so when you are wanting to work on your own personal frequency, the different seven chakras are tuned to different vibrations, and each of those vibrations can be attuned using sound waves.
Mhm.
I actually have a whole ebook on this. If you go to my website, janastern.com, and you sign up for my newsletter, which I send very sporadically, you get a free ebook on all of this, which tells you about the seven major ones so that you can digest them. And so, yeah, you can use frequency, you can use color. So, literally, the colors that you're wearing, if you're intentional about it, that can be helpful. And there are crystals and smells and herbs and other things that you can use. But if you're tapped and it's about intentionality, knowing, okay, I'm wearing red today because I'm working on my root and I'm trying to bring in more abundance. I'm wearing blue today because I want to be able to speak my truth. I want to be able to say what it is that needs to be said. When it comes to the 114 different chakras, it's literally about tuning into like the palms of your hands, the spaces that are above your breasts, like the different parts of you, and really just dialing in and feeling the energy coming into you. This is helpful to do in meditation. Sorry, it's helpful to do in meditation to really just like tune into you and feel the energy as it's coming in and allowing yourself to notice what you feel when you tap into each one of these chakras.
Awesome, beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, it sounds like you have a very broad and very rich practice. I'm sure somewhere in there you work with spirit guides. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I do. I have a number of different spirit guides that have been with me all my life. And actually, going through Healers Academy, I actually have four additional guides who guide me. And I'm incredibly, incredibly lucky to have guides that are very, very clear in their messages to me. Um, they're very open and they're very like direct. I'm very direct as well. So we mirror one another. I mirror them. They're very funny. And I've had other psychic friends be like, yo, your guides are funny. I'm like, I know. They're funny like me. Um, so yeah, I definitely work with spirit guides. For those who are wanting to work with their own guides, I would say, there's a couple of things you can do. First of all, ask specifics. If like I would when I started to really deepen my practice of connecting, one of my two of my main guides are my great grandmothers, my mother's grandmother on her mother's side, and my father's mother's mother. They both have carried me through, and they were the first ones that I saw when I was on the other side in my near death experience. Um, and they were like, "You have a choice," and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to choose go back." Um, but if you are not planning on a near death experience, which I do not recommend, my suggestion would be instead ask for specific signs. So for each person, it's different. For some people, it's butterflies. For others, it's feathers. For some people, it might be, pennies on the street, or it could be anything. You kind of know what your thing is, but you can ask for specific things and actually receive those messages. And then when you do, say thank you and watch how your gratitude for receiving the message exactly as it is. So, like if you're asking for butterflies and you're expecting for a butterfly to literally flap in front of your face, but it's the middle of winter, it, you will be disappointed. But if a butterfly, if go into a cafe and there's a butterfly painted on a wall, believe me, that counts. Right. And so noticing that it's not up to you how it shows up, but that they do always, always give you the message that you need when you need it. and you say thank you, your messages will quadruple. All of a sudden, they'll start to show up in ways that you did not expect. And we all have spirit guides, every single one of us. We all have energies and entities that carry us through this lifetime. And some of them are people, their deceased loved ones, if we have parents or grandparents who have passed. And they can also be people we've never met, and they can be angelic beings. So if you're wanting to work with the angels, that in itself is a whole other kind of process. You can literally, same thing, call them in. When you have an understanding, there's a whole breakdown of the different angels and how each one helps us with different big things and little things. And so, when you know what you're going through and you call on a particular angel, I need this message, I need some assistance, you will be blown away at the amount of things that will show up in your life that are exactly the way that you asked for it, with like a tiny little twist.
Absolutely. Someone sent me a video one
Hmm.
time, and it was about manifestation.
Hmm.
And in this video, this lady says, I'm going to start programming your subconscious so that every time you see X, Y, and Z, you are going to begin to evoke manifestation of blah, 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 whatever you're working on in
Hmm.
your life. And, and it's like, okay, well, this is kind of typical, the way things start to pre-program. And, she went on and I was in agreement with everything she said. And then she said, and every time you see purple flowers,
Hmm.
this is going to lodge in your mind. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, okay, I'm in Colorado. It's the dead of winter. There's no purple flowers anywhere.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay. Cute video to listen to going back and forth across the mountain. I got to work, totally forgot about it. I get into the office. My day's kind of hectic. Everything is going a typical Monday way. And I turned around to pick up a tool from my table. Lo and behold, and had never even I'd never noticed it. I had a client that had made some beautiful table coverings for
Hmm.
me and had gifted them to me. They were made up. The purple was little tiny purple flowers.
I love
Purple
that.
flowers. So now every time I go into my office, I'm like, I'm evoking manifestation. Right there are those purple flowers in the dead of winter. In Colorado, I've got purple flowers everywhere. And so,
Exactly.
just like what you're saying, that power of suggestion that
Hmm.
we have within us to begin to shift and to change and, to bring about gratitude in our life, it's really, truly amazing. And so, it sounds like you've got a lot of tools in your toolbox. Can you describe some of the other things that you offer in your practice, some of the ways that you work with people? And if you have particular programs or whatever, go ahead and feel free to share those with people.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I do some one-off readings where I kind of help you to address specifics.
Hmm.
So in the one reading that I do, it's called Ask the Oracle. That's a great way if you're wanting to connect with loved ones on the other side. I do have the gift of mediumship. It's not something that I scream from the rooftops, but it is something that I do offer. And so it's a great way to also just get guidance on what's going on in the here and now. I offer a astrology reading, both in your inbox, which is a recording, and also one-on-one, where we go really, really, really deep into your chart and look at, the planets, the houses, the aspects, and the current transits to understand who were you designed to be and how is your design affecting what's happening now, or how is what's happening now affecting your design. And so we kind of really unpack a lot in that. And both of those sessions can feel somewhat like a therapy session, because years and years of therapy have taught me how to be a good therapist, even though I never got certified for that one.
Hmm.
But I also have a wonderful group program that is sort of a hybrid of group and one-on-one. It's 6 months of teaching, and I teach all kinds of different things in it. I have sort of different pillars that we cover from month to month to month. Some of those things include crystals. We get really, really, really deep into crystals. We talk a lot about, we spend a whole month on the energy bodies, because we have more than just chakras. We have our aura, we have our magnetic energy, our etheric energy, all these different, energy bodies, and learning to actually navigate our own energy helps us to have better boundaries, which we spend a whole month on. And I spend, another month talking about divination and numerology. A whole month it covers astrology, and then, your intuition and how to really master that skill set of like understanding how to get those messages, how to interpret those messages. Because one of the things that you shared, Sheila, was that you watched the video and then you just like totally forgot about it. And then it was there. But the totally forgetting about it is the key. It's the trick. And so, being able to trust that intuitive nudge and to follow your intuition. I always say it's like a muscle, and you have to really, really work it out a lot to be able to trust it when the systems are set up so that you're crazy if you follow them. So it's a whole program. I call it the resilience revolution, because I think that in order to survive in this reality, we need to be very, very resilient. And there definitely is a revolution that's happening right now. And I certainly see myself as somebody who can guide others into that sort of self-sovereignty and self-mastery that I think is imperative for where we go in the new earth. So yeah, that's my programs, some of the things that I offer. I also have a podcast. It's called I'm Really Into That Stuff. It's yeah, it was very tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
It's conversations with friends of mine in this world who do cool and interesting things, whether it's Reiki or astrology or sound healing or some combination or something totally different than all of that. I even have friends who have retreat centers and things of that nature, psychedelics, you name it. We kind of cover all of it. It's really a fun opportunity for me to have interesting conversations. So you can check that out too. It's called I'm Really Into That Stuff.
That's cool. Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. For someone who is new to this, or for someone who is seeking some new tools, what
Hmm.
advice do you have for them?
Trust yourself. There's a lot to know. There's a lot to know. When you start to go into the world of esoterics, the rabbit hole is infinite. Space is forever. You can start to learn about one thing, and then I always say you open one door and it opens to a hallway of more doors. And to open every single one and learn every single thing. I mean, I couldn't read all of these books. I couldn't do all that there is to do. And I couldn't have all of the conversations with all of the people about all of their experiences too. So, your journey is about you. And it's about understanding why things happened for you in your lifetime, who you are, and how you can have a deeper understanding of you. And that will help you to understand the world as it is beyond what you've known. The more you look at you with love, with kindness, with forgiveness, with appreciation, with gratitude, and with like so much forgiveness, it actually offers you this opportunity to be forgiving of others. And that is where true like consciousness is, right? That's love. Love is forgiveness. Forgiveness is love, I believe. So, if you're on the path of learning, be forgiving. Sometimes you'll see, oh, wow, I used to be this way. I really need to change that up. I really got to show up differently. So just, it's about, yeah, be kind to yourself. And if you need any kind of assistance in the journey, I'm always happy to take questions from, whomever. You can always send emails, texts, all that kind of stuff. On all my socials, I'm at Jana Stern Healer. So you can send me a DM, no problem.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, being an astrologer,
Hmm.
and since today is a very powerful gateway, our
Mm-hmm.
1212, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the energy surrounding that.
Yeah, we have 12, 12, 24. So it's like an even bigger 12, 12 portal, right? We're quadrupling down or whatever on it, which I love. Um, Yeah, we're at the precipice of a massive shift. And for some of us, the shift that's coming is already here. I would say, like, for all of us, the shift that's coming is already here. But for some of us, we have a knowing. We're like, yeah, something's changing, something is evolving, something is letting go. I'm releasing something. Um, I think the next year will be humongously radically different than anything we've ever seen before. The astrology of the coming year is huge. And I think we'll see a change in the understanding of what is real, of what is possible. The idea that you could manifest anything, even purple flowers in the middle of, the winter in a place where they don't belong, is because we are creating our realities with our mind. And, the CIA has like released documents about it very quietly. They did that in the pandemic. Also, they were like, everything's a hologram and aliens are real. And now we're like watching the drones and being like, what's happening? What do we? So as we're doing this, there's like this cosmic shift that we're experiencing. And so, today on this portal, a really important thing to think about is like, well, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your reality to look like? Because if you're in a reality that you don't feel good in right now, you're creating it.
Yeah.
You're creating it based on the stories you're telling about yourself, based on the things that you're allowing, based on the habits that you participate in, on all of the things that you do every day that retell the story. The brain, when it sees 3/4 of a circle, automatically it will close the loop in your mind, even if the circle is open. And 2025 is going to force us to actually create new shapes because the circle doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a third dimensional shape that is only of the density of the third dimension. And so if you want to elevate your consciousness, you want to go beyond the density, the heaviness, the weight of the world, it's up to you to create that lightness, and it takes work. But you're not alone. And it's great that there's communities support each other.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so in the coming year,
Mhm.
is there anything that people really need to be aware of? Is there a dominating theme that people can watch out for? I know you said there's going to be a lot of shake up. And how might that manifest for people?
A big thing to be aware of is if you're not taking an action, but you're talking a lot about something, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. If you're not doing something about what you want, it's never going to come to fruition, period. And, so if you're like, I'm sick of the way that the system works, but then you keep feeding into the system, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And the coming year will be a lot about that. So if you're sick of your relationship with your family members and the way that you interact, and it breaks your heart that you aren't as close as you want to be, but you do nothing to change your dynamic with your family members because you do nothing to change your dynamic with yourself. No, you don't. You like what you are living, but what you are living is your experience. You are completing the loop over and over and over again. And that's a definition of insanity, right? So, what we need to do, the important thing, the theme for 2025 is what are you breaking on purpose? What are you breaking? What curses are you breaking? What intergenerational stories are you retelling? How are you impacting your loved ones? How are you impacting the world? What reality are you creating? And doing so consciously every day on purpose is going to be the theme of the future because we're going to come to understand collectively how much we really are creating and manifesting in our worlds and how much our lack of action and our participation in little things and big things actually are agreements. And I also want to say to that, be extremely, extremely aware of where you put your energy. And
Yes.
I don't just mean who are you talking to? I mean, what dollars are you spending where? If you don't like the corporate systems, but you're still going to Starbucks, you like systems. If you don't, and there are lots of ways to get around it. It requires effort, but the effort is how we change things. The effort is how we actually make those, progresses in the right direction. And so it's really about self-sovereignty. It's really about taking responsibility for yourself. And then when you are nourished and when your cup is full in a world that has forever said, you're not enough, lack, 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 lack. When you change that and you take back all of your power, suddenly you have more to give than you ever knew. And you don't feel depleted because you only give what you have to give, not this like, I'm not enough, so I better overgive because I'm a, garbage person and my garbage is I'm worthless. And so let me do and do and do and do and do and do and do. That we're canceling it in 2025. It's over. So if you behave that way, sorry, but you're going to have to change.
Yeah, I really like that because I talk to so many people about the fact that they complain about the system. They
Mm,
complain about the way the direction is going. And it's like, but you're feeding into that. No, I'm not. I don't like it. I'm like, but every time you verbalize it, you're putting energy into it. Therefore, you're strengthening it by giving it your energy.
that's
So
right.
stop it.
That's
Don't
right.
even, move in a different direction. But how
Mhm.
can I move in a different direction? This is going on. It's going on because you're putting your attention to it. It's not going on in my life.
That's right.
It's not going on here.
And it's like I hear a lot. One of the big things is I'm broke. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. Um, you don't have enough money because you keep saying that you don't have enough money. And like that doesn't mean that there aren't systems of horrific oppression that exist and that it hasn't been harder for some than it has been for others. It doesn't mean that it's been easier for some than it has been for others. And there are lots of people for whom it should have been easy and it was hard, or for whom it should have been hard and it was easy. So a lot of it, most of it, all of it is mindset. So really the trick to like being broke is meditate, focus on attracting money, find money, give money, donate money, be generous in ways that are possible for you, that tell the universe, I have enough, I'm good, I got plenty, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really love that.
Yeah.
So, so we talked about if people are looking for new ways to connect, and you gave some beautiful examples. What about people who are looking to deepen their practice? What do you suggest to them?
Hmm. um, Meditate, write, uh, and spend lots of time with who you are. And that does not mean spend time on the couch watching Netflix and scrolling on your phone at the same time. It means spending time with your inner you, play some music and dance around the house, do the dishes, clean the floor, and just feel what it feels like to be a person. And while you're being that person, can you then notice what are the feelings that are coming up? What are the thoughts that you automatically go to? Because the depth of anything is in the places that you unconsciously block.
Mhm.
When you start to go into a place, I love to play this game with myself. I've been journaling since I was very, very young. I've been journaling probably all my life. Since I could write, I had a diary. And sometimes I notice that when I start to get to that place, that the thought is just about to culminate into changing a behavior that I'm still hooked into, because there are some good ones that I'm still hooked into and I'm working on. When I notice that my pen wants to go down, or my hand wants to pick up my phone, or I want to run away from my journal, that is where the depth is. That is where the edge is that I need to jump off of to really go deeper, right? Because it's only a game of knowing yourself. That's the
Right.
whole thing of all of this exploration. It's all about you, really and truly. And this is biblical. This is in every single ancient text, that you are the center of your universe. And how you relate to your universe is how deep you will let yourself go. Yeah.
Now, just a moment ago, you mentioned the new earth. Can you share a little bit about that for people who may have never even heard that term? What are you referring to with the new earth?
In a sort of practical way, what I'm referring to is what the world looks like when AI is very present in everything we do. Understanding that what it means to be human is changing. I would say maybe 5 years ago or more, when we talked about the new earth, the thought was something like everybody would move to some version of a hippie commune and live in community where we share resources. And I think that still very much exists as part of what the new earth will feel like. But I think that will happen in collective, um, not just in small remote places, but I think we'll start to see it actually happening in cities and things like that. I think the new earth will be a place where we have a deeper understanding of human consciousness, of human kindness. Um, it's scary to see where the world is right now and the lack of empathy and love that there is out there. Um, in some places, and I think in the new earth we will see it probably start to come about, around 2027 astrologically, mid 2027, 2028, 29, 30. We'll start to see a real shift in, like, holy crap, I'm a person and so are you, and this robot over here is not a person. So, like, gotta prioritize you, gotta prioritize me, got to make sure that we have an understanding and that there is kindness, because now it's not just us, right? Now there's a them, and them knows more than we do, right? And so, how do we live peacefully? How do we have these energies in the new world, in the earth that we begin to move into, in a fifth dimension consciousness that says not just me, dense energy, low vibration, lack, but in this higher consciousness of, like, we, us, enoughness, goodness, kindness, love, contribution. And also, how do we use the tools, including AI and other esoteric tools, that will start to really come forward? If you think the astrology trend is trending, just wait. Wait till the stars have friends up there. Then they'll be like, why is this happening? Anyway, um, as we move in that direction, as we start to understand, okay, the aliens are landing clearly, they're in the oceans, they're in the drones, there's something like this happening, and the consciousness of everybody is expanding, the earth is changing. And where we will go is to, this sort of age of Aquarius, kumbaya kind of energy where you can tap into it a little bit. But we're not going to get there for 250 more years, probably, because humanity definitely ain't ready.
Got it. Got it. So now next year is going to be the shakeup year.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, a lot of channelers, a lot of even information that I'm getting is that there's going to be this pivotal shift that happens at kind of at the end of 2026, the first of 2027. Is there anything astrologically that we need to be aware of that's going to be occurring? Now, I don't know if you've looked at the charts, and I don't mean to put you, on the spot here, but I'm just wondering if you have looked into, years in advance where the astrology is taking us.
Yeah, I mean, a big one that we just stepped into for the first, time in 250 years, um, is Pluto's big transit into Aquarius. That's a big one. That's one you kind of can't ignore, because Aquarius is space. It is this infinite knowledge. It is the coldness of space. And it's also about transhumanism. It's also about technology. It's about all these different things. And so Pluto, our collective karma, moving there is humongous. It's you can't not look. Um, Certainly, one of the big things that I'm really, like, honing in on at this moment is Chiron in Aries. It's going to be there for a little bit. And Chiron is the outer planet. It's like a asteroid, almost. Um, it's like Pluto. It's a dwarf planet, and it represents our healing and our wounding. And it's the healing that we can heal in others. And right now, Chiron is in Aries, which is the baby of the zodiac. It's this very me energy, which I love about Aries, because we need, as a, as a baby, if you're not about me, you don't cry and ask for what you need, you're dead as a baby. So we need to serve ourselves in this way. We need to make sure our cups are full, and Aries are great at that. So that right there for me is also like this big thing that we need to be focusing on. Like, there is a wound that we all have about ourselves, and Chiron is only at 19 degrees. So it's going to take its time getting to the end there. And that's going to be a big factor for sure. You know, I would say right now, Saturn is doing a lot. There's an energy of Saturn in Pisces that is very, Pisces is the esoteric. It's the mystery, the unknown, and Saturn is boundaries. It's law, it's rule. And so we're kind of like, what is known? What do laws work? Who is being served what? Who wins if in these systems? What's going on? And so we're really experiencing that for a little while. And that's going to be a big transit for the next little while as well. Um, you know, uh, where Uranus is right now in Taurus, it's sort of closing up its transit there. It's retrograde right now, but where it is right now, this is the Aquarian planet. Technology, transformation, information, aha moments, sudden changes that just shift everything from, oh my, Uranus was the planet, Saturn was the end, and suddenly we discovered it. And oh my God, you mean there's more planets out there? Like, that's unbelievable. And so, Uranus really shakes things up. And in Taurus, it's shaken up the world. It's shaken up our earth. We don't know what's real anymore. And everything really is shifting and changing and evolving for us. And there will continue to be really intense aha moments, like lightning striking, that might cause fires, that we will have to witness over the next couple of years. Yeah.
Well, we have been all over the universe and back tonight. Is there anything that you wanted to bring forward that we haven't touched upon?
Yeah, this upcoming full moon, in a couple of days on Sunday in Gemini, it's a really good time to look at all of the pieces of yourself. Gemini is about multiplicity. It's about both are true, and right. It's about his truth, her truth, and the truth, right? And all of these different pieces of yourself that exist all at once. So again, this message over and over again, it's sort of my main message in life, is just like, be really kind to yourself. The looking at yourself process is not an easy one. It's not for the lighthearted. So if you're looking, I always say, if you're playing, you're winning. So keep playing and make it playful. And yeah, just be kind to yourself. That's really all I want to share. I think we've covered quite a bit. So yeah.
I think so. Now, for people that want to get a hold of you, do you want to share your website one more time?
Sure. Yeah, you can go to Jana Stern, JANASTERN.com. Or you can, on all social medias, that's Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, whatever it might be. It's Jana Stern Healer. So JANASTERNHEALER. So that's all across the board. And you can always, sign up for my email there, and you'll get a cool little freebie in your email, which is always fun, about the chakras, the seven major ones. And yeah, just give you a breakdown about how you can kind of get yourself back into balance, if you've been feeling like you're maybe a little bit depleted lately, because we all are on some level.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I really want to thank you for being here tonight with us. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time and all the wisdom that you've shared with us. And before we go, of course, I want to do a little commercial here and a little bit of update. So,
Sure.
for you that don't realize my new book is out, and it is Cosmic Convergence: Journeys of Walk-ins, Star Seeds, and Hybrids. This was written in cooperation with Barbara Lamb. Barbara has added 5 and sometimes 6 different hypnotherapy sessions after the walk-in, star seed, and hybrid sections themselves. Also, I want to share with you, I'm going to share my screen. And okay, so for those of you who have been following the Conscious Awakening Network, we have our new site up. Now, we are still under construction, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I would love for you to go take a look at it. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. This is just our, hey, we're under construction phase. This is our new beautiful video that Mac has developed for us, that, it just kind of shares a little bit about who we are and what we're about. You can watch that. You can sign up. And by the way, if you are not on our mailing list and you are watching us, please sign up. You can go to the Conscious Awakening Network.org. You can sign up right here to be on our mailing list. Now, our homepage will end up looking like this. And as we go through, we have our video here. Again, you can sign up. This shows you a little bit about everything that we have to offer. So from the Ascension TV to live streaming, events, podcasting, radio, on demand, our university and marketplace, this is open to anyone and everyone that's listening to us right now. We are always looking for excellent content providers. If you're interested or you want to become an affiliate, we have tons of places on the website where you can sign up or submit your information. We have our own community page, which I'm going to show you, a calendar of events, all of our services. This is the page for our affiliate program. I just set this up. I'm not sure I did it right, but I'm working on it. So again, we are under construction. All feedback is appreciated. So you can drop that at sheilaseppi.com to say, hey, I was on the site and this is not working. And then we have our membership page where you can become part of our community. You can also, for $12.99, sign up to be part of the exclusive content. Or if you sign up annually, you get 2 months free. But everything you get for free for 7 days. We also have our Ascension TV. This will show you all of the different people who we have that are part of our programming. Each one of these individuals have their own channels with tons of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful information to share with you. And it just keeps growing and growing. And again, we're always looking for people. You can pop on here, submit an application. Love to have you. We have everything broken down still in our topic section. You can come back. Again, this will take you to our podcasting. So our program tonight, give us a day and it will be right here in this spot. So Jana, you can go and listen to yourself on all the wonderful podcasting locations, Spotify, Amazon, I Love Radio, you name it. We're part of that. Click and go.
Amazing.
Then you can go over to what we're calling our enlightenment zone. First, we have our marketplace. Now, this is something that's really unique. We're going to be having a video store. So, if you sell books, you can show your book. You can tell all about your book, and people click and go to your site to buy it. Music, conscious expanding products, everything from Ormus to grids, okay? Lotions, soaps, essential oils, wellness and healing tools. We have a place for the artist. I see you back there painting, Susie. You can sell some of your art right here. You can tell everybody all about it, how you were inspired. Jewelry, wardrobes. We have a lot of people that make really cool clothing. Meditation and ritual supplies, kid and family products, technology tools, custom and handcrafted items, and gifts and bundles. So maybe you put together, gift baskets. This is a perfect place to have that. Then you can go to our university. Now, this again is video based. So, for all of you people who are looking for another outlet for your videos, let us know, because here we have our university. We talk all about it. Our courses go here. We haven't started loading that. Again, this shows you all of the television OTT programs that we will be on: Android, Apple, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Samsung, you name it, all the major television platforms. We're expanding with those. Then we move over to our community hub, which I really love. We have our calendar of events. So if you go into January, you'll be able to see our event. Is this January? That's February. Okay. There we go. January, you can see, ooh, we have our star code activation workshop. And then you can click on this. It will take you to the page. Ooh, you have 29 days left, $44, 2 days of phenomenal speakers. And you can go back and learn more about that in our library. Also, we now have our community section. So this is very much like a single Facebook page. So if you have cool things coming up, you can go in and share that. Here I have pinned just, welcome to the cosmic conversations. Welcome to the Conscious Awakening Network community, blah, blah, blah. You can go in there and read it for yourself. But please, if you have a chance, check it out. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you like about it, what you think we could improve on. If you are a content provider and you're looking for a home for your content, just give us a call. And if you are looking to share your knowledge with the world, let us know. And maybe you're a musician. We have our CAN radio, which I didn't even go over, but we have a global radio station that we broadcast everything. We have next year, we will have slots where people can have their own radio shows that they'll be able to broadcast. We have, all this phenomenal music that we've already had on our platforms. So check it out. You don't want to miss it. Anyway, thank you
Sheila,
guys
I want to
so
just say, I really want
much.
to say, this is so impressive, and you ought to be so proud of this work. I'm blown away. Just
Oh,
incredible.
well, thank you very much. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of behind the scene folks, to bring it together, to make it happen. Right now, we are still loading over 500 videos into the program. When we downloaded everything and brought it over, it did a wonderful job and it uploaded everything, but it didn't bring over the descriptions and the titles. So now we have to go back through every individual form and pull that out. So everybody, we could use some Godspeed energy coming our way, because my goal is that we will have this baby up and running by Christmas. So fingers crossed, everybody's good energy. See it as already happening, because we are already there. So
Yes, ma'am.
everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Much love to everyone. Pat yourselves on the back for doing the work that it's taking, because we know that we all contribute to the collective consciousness. And as we work on ourselves, we're outputting this new vibrational frequency, and that goes into the collective consciousness, and it helps to raise the vibratory frequency. It allows us to hold more light, which also impacts the collective consciousness of the entire world. So thank you guys for working on yourselves, for hanging in there, for being here tonight. The holiday season is coming up. As you know, on Monday nights, we're giving everybody a little bit of a break, but we are hanging tight in there for Thursdays. So we will see you back here next Thursday. And until then, much love, everyone. Have a beautiful and blessed week, and check out the new website. Sign up to be on our list. We'd love to have you. So until we're back together again, namaste. Much love, everyone, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thanks for the birthday message last week.
You got it.